For me, I've learned by hard lessons to say, why am I in this situation? Let me just back it up without pointing that finger of blame. Let me think, what came before this? Then what came before that? And before that, and I'll inevitably get to where I agreed to be in that situation. Well, I didn't have a choice. Well, you didn't have a choice because you didn't know you had one.
True.
So, difficult situations, we can learn and grow from them. They can be horrible, they can be awful. And not everything really is karma. It is and it isn't. But things can be good and bad and left and right at the same time and both be true. Some people are born in parts of the world that are just awful. It's not because it's a karmic situation, it's because that's the card they drew. And you may find yourself in these kind of situations. So you're going to have enough of a backbone and to know enough about yourself to have some spiritual skills and some shrewdness. What is your situational awareness? And usually you can learn to avoid those situations before they happen. But if you're in it and you couldn't avoid it, well, that sucks. You're going to have to deal with it.
Yeah. And so you can gain inner strength, and you never know when your outer circumstances are going to change because things are always changing. So
I think
focus.
yeah. Yeah, very true.
We often focus on so hard on what's going wrong outside of ourselves when there's always something that we can change within ourselves.
Well, it's very predictive. Human beings, we like to predict things. We like to project out there. It's like why we watch these monster shows or these cop shows or whatever. We want to see how people survive that. And can we do that? We imagine that. I don't know. I listen to my husband with some of his operator friends. I don't know one of them that doesn't do this. We're sitting there and we're watching Naked and Afraid. Every darn one of them, they've lived that life. They're all like, well, he's an idiot. Look what he's doing. You should have done this or that. They've lived that life. So if you're around people that have lived the problems that you're facing, that'll help you. Because guess what? They're still sitting there. They survived it. And I think what scares us with predictive behavior is that we might survive it. Then we have to deal with the fallout. It's not always the problem that's happening, but it's the fallout of what comes next.
Yeah, that fear of the unknown or worry about the worst case scenario.
Yeah, we do. We project everything outward. We try to predict what can happen if this or that, and we can't always get it right. Clearly, we don't.
No, we just fumble our way through life most of the time. That's how I feel anyway.
Well, I do too. I mean, come on. This is hard. Life is supposed to be difficult, and then we whine that it is. Really? Really, Zoli? I mean, come on. We have it pretty darn good here in the Western world. Come on. Sometimes we have to make up problems, just to have something to whine about.
That does make me laugh. There are, the first world problems. The power went out and I didn't get my latte first thing in the morning.
Well, that's a real crisis. Now, I'm serious. You need to call the president and tell him about that.
We're all out of almond milk.
Oh, God, how awful. Oh, no, no, that's terrible. Well, we want our comforts, and that's part of the problem of predictive is we're trying to predict how to stay comfortable. Because when we're comfortable, what happens? We're calm. We've got serotonin and dopamine and GABA. We got all these nice, cushy neurotransmitters coursing through our body and our brain. We have this nice meditative feeling. Then, pow, something happens and it's on.
Yeah, and then we lose our shit, and we aren't
That's
able
how
to get.
life is.
Yeah.
Right. But you just explain what life itself is. It's like at swimming meet. And I always think about this. You're standing on the swimming meet, you're standing on the side of the pool, you're getting ready to go, and everybody's in that same position. You're getting ready to jump into the water. You're not going to jump till you hear that pow. When you hear that pow, you change. Your energy field changes from being able to stand there and anticipate to have to physically act. So the body will react and respond in according with what you've done before and what you've trained to do. And if you hadn't, you're going to be in a panic and it's going to be freeze, flight, or fight.
So we can practice our way out of that by being reasonable and calm and seeing what the next step needs to be.
I'd rather be just plain ass paranoid and try to keep out of that in the first place, but I'll let you know.
I'd love that too. That sounds ideal. And it does seem to all come back to holding on to the hope instead of the negative.
Well, look at the energy field of that. Hope is calm. Hope is beauty. And it says that this too shall pass. It's the angels rolling down the mountain that you can see coming towards you. You know that it's coming. You know that divinity is up there and is coming for you no matter what. Because you have inside yourself a divine presence that never, ever dies. And the game, this board game that we're playing, that we agree to play when we come to earth in a body, is we're going to forget that. You're going to forget that you have any help whatsoever. You're going to forget that you're this divine being in a body, in a physical body, hopefully spiritualizing matter, creating divinity, a feeling in matter that it doesn't control you. You don't want to be controlled by commercialism, by guilt, by fear, any of the things that lack hope. What material object in the world is hopeful? Nothing unless you've attached something to it. I like crosses. I collect crosses. I've got a collection of them. They give me hope. I love that feeling. Devotional candles. I love that. I also have a bunch of gargoyles. They do the same thing for me. Go figure. So it's very personal, but nothing in the material world, because it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, nothing will outlive hope. Everything will be destroyed in the end. And if we attach our hope to something physical, it'll destroy you.
What a wonderful thing to think about, that we can actually, um, if this is a game we're living, that hope is like the energy field throughout it that we can connect to in order to achieve what we came here to achieve.
Very true. And that, for some reason, that reminds me of one of the episodes of Star Wars, the later ones, where Captain Kirk, they were talking to him about when he was going through the Star Academy. The way that he got through an impossible situation was he just changed the rules. So there are times that we do get to change the rules. You think you're not changing the rules when you walk into, and I've had this experience because I can be a happy idiot. I can just be out of touch. I walked into a meeting once and people were angry. They were depressed. The coffee machine had broken. This was, God, back in the 70s. So in Nashville, everybody was angry and upset. I was in a good mood that day and I just started being happy and just smiling. Well, it was pissing people off, but sooner or later, it's infectious and people calm down. Now, I didn't magically do something. I was just too dumb to understand that the company was in a real crisis. Maybe that was a gift from you, from God. I don't know. But I think we can all break the rules and change the rules. If you walk into something and you know the unwritten social rules are you have to be this, this, or this, or you have to gossip. Gossip is evil. It's never about one thing. You always have to have other people involved in it. It's taking a negative and spewing it out there, vomiting it to make other people feel bad because you feel bad about yourself. So you can change those rules by saying, I just don't do that. I don't talk about that. Well, don't you want to know? Don't tell me what I do or don't know. I won't do it. I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to that energy field. That's hard to do. You think social media is not filled with that? Because it has an energy of this delicious, what would you call it? The right to diss other people and make fun of other people's faults. Who wants that done about themselves? Now, I'll tell you what, there are plenty of narcissists, which is pretty much all the politicians and stars. They kind of deserve what they get. Because if you put yourself out there as wanting to be famous and then you say, well, you're perfect, come on. So the gossip mongers will get you. But I don't want to be part of that. I just don't. Maybe it serves a purpose. I don't know. I don't want to backtrack. But for me, it's toxic. So change the rules.
That's the best takeaway for me this week, month, maybe even year. That life is a game and we can change the rules.
It really is. It depends on what game you're playing. If you're in a war zone, the game is, that's a very serious game in a different way. If you're raising kids, you have 3 kids in diapers and it's raining outside and the oven just went out, that's a game. But what kind of game is it? Can you change the rules? Can you change this or that? We're challenged with all kind of stuff. And either we grow from it or we don't. I don't think there's any other rule.
Yeah, for better or worse, we will grow from it. And I loved your example of coming to the meeting and just bringing that infectious mood, because hope and silliness and fun is infectious and we can spread it.
Well, I was such an airhead at that age. Oh my God. I'll give you an example. This is so funny. When I bought when I bought my farm in Washington, I was in my early 30s and I was still in my woo-woo state of mind. And on the ground, I'd never seen on this huge property, the maple trees had dropped all these little twirligig things, right? That's the seeds. Well, they had started sprouting all over the lawn. I'm out there picking one at a time. Why did I do that? But that's how I was. I was a total airhead living in another reality. I was not here. I was very gifted, but I had yet to learn the rule that you have to live in the physical and the spiritual world. I don't know how long I did that, for a couple of days till somebody came and rescued me. Wonder what the hell are you doing? I got a lot of stories about me like that. Oh my God.
Was the reality pirate born at that time?
You know, the reality pirate, it came out of the signature, the energy field of um what is the name of that movie? Now I just had a mind fart. Oh boy, I'll think of it in a minute. But it came out of a movie. And the whole energy field of that movie, it had Monty Python characters in it. John Cleese was in it, Eric Idle, I think. Time Bandits. Why can't I ever remember the name of that? But that is my very favorite movie of all time, because the way that they combined that, I'm a huge Monty Python fan. I think the reality pirate came out of that because these guys are like little pirates. So it came out of that energy field, and I think the idea came from my soul. I woke up one morning and there it was, and I started writing some things about the reality pirate. But I did not develop RP as a character until I pretty much moved to Montana 14 years ago.
Until then, he was just an altered part of your personality.
Yeah, I had to get him out of my head. You need to go live somewhere else.
Now he's out in the world causing all kinds of interesting things to happen.
Yes, he is. I would encourage you guys to take a look at those books. We got a lot of fun.
Yes, there's always another reality pirate adventure coming soon.